I'm seeing it clearly. Vision was blurred, treated unfairly. Staying alert. Evil at lurk, demons are scary.
What's up, everybody? It's Dolly from O'Dolly Networks, and in honor of Mental Health Awareness Day, I have the one, the only, Ibn Sharif Shakur from Jersey City, the creative...
COVID dad. COVID dad.
COVID dad.
Yes, COVID dad.
COVID dad.
Yeah.
The creative rapper, artist, content creator, newly licensed therapist. I brought him here today to talk about mental health in Black men.
Nightmares of my pops leaving, dolo in that prison cell. Paranoid and I got reasons, blessed that he could live to tell. Though life been a living hell, barely speak but I wish him well. Traumatic stress got me detached, mom's an addict, she was sniffing crack.
As a Black man in America, do you feel or have you experienced a trauma that you know was caused by the color of your skin?
Yes, without a doubt. I think that you're born into traumatic circumstances usually when you're just being Black.
Okay, so there's different types of disabilities. There's different types of mental disabilities. And you can receive a mental disability at any point in your life. Do you believe that a man who has gone through trauma can end up being mentally disabled?
Yeah, I think that the problem is that it goes unaddressed so long that the problem gets worse. So like anxiety feeds off of avoidance. So if it's something that bothers, like let's just say you experience any type of trauma in life, right? Just like a phobia. So if you have a phobia of elevators, and the more you avoid the elevator, you stay away from it, that fear and anxiety builds up more. So 15 years down the line, you finally have to get on the elevator. You might actually flip out and have a panic attack. Now everyone's saying, oh, now you have, it's so severe. But no, you already had it. It was already there. But the more you avoided it and you weren't able to address it head on, it's gotten worse. So I think that, yeah, in a sense, yeah, you can, over time, things can worsen and then you can get like a diagnosis. Is
there any traumas that you can say that could have led you to be mentally ill?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I'll disclose like I've been diagnosed with PTSD. I'm not exaggerating or anything like that. Anxiety. I had like a major depressive episode, maybe like, I'm 34 now, maybe like 6 years ago. So on paper I have it, but it took for me to kind of like hit rock bottom to actually go get that, go even acknowledge that something was wrong with me. And the way I'm designed, fortunately, I'm resilient enough and aware enough to go get the help and work through it so that I can live a regular, somewhat normal life. But you just think about the people who, I don't know, they're designed a little bit differently, their brain reacts to stress differently, and they don't know they have a problem and they're not able to get the help.
So what, if you don't mind sharing, caused that PTSD?
The main thing that because I've been to psychiatrists, I've been to therapists. I see a therapist every other Thursday. But the first thing was that when I was about, I want to say about like 8 years old. What happened? Well, when I was about 8 years old, I was living with my great grandmother, and somebody broke into the house. They climbed through the window, lift up the screen, and back in the day you had those tunnel apartments where you can like look straight through. And the guy took her out of the bed. I was in a pull-out couch with her, and he put a gun in her head and said, if you don't give me everything in your pocketbook, I'm gonna kill your grandson. And with traumatic events, your brain kind of takes a snapshot of that, and you'll never forget. Like I'll never forget that. Like I can literally think about it now and see exactly how it looked, like it was yesterday. So just even now, like as I'm older, I'm like, I know I locked the door. I'm checking it like 4 or 5 times. So you think about me being that young and experiencing that, and especially not having any men around, anyone to feel, that, that male energy to make you feel safe. That caused even more anxiety than we already have to deal with. So that was the first thing.
So you think that the lack of brotherly love, fatherly love, also helps stimulate the anxiety and the unknowing. and that might cause the trauma as well.
Yeah.
Like contribute to the trauma, as I should say.
For sure.
So is that the reason why you decided to become a licensed therapist, or was there other things stemming to you feeling like you need to make a change?
Yeah, because I really didn't think about becoming a therapist until I had like that nervous breakdown. I didn't know anything about mental health at 27, 28. I just knew I was feeling these physical symptoms and I thought I was going crazy. So from there, I was already in school for education. I think I was already a teacher at that point, and I was just like, man, I wanted to further my education, but I think education is kind of useless without a plan. So I was like, what can I do? I'm already on the track. And I said, wow, now I can address the issues that I'm familiar with as a victim. Now I can kind of like turn that corner and use it, because I got a lot of information. I've been through a lot on both sides. So yeah, you could say that that's what kind of like pushing me there.
When you say victim, it's very hard for a lot of, especially men, to admit that they're victims.
Yeah.
What made you realize that you are a victim and that whatever you went through is not normal?
Yeah.
You know, and that you need to address it. I see you said something about like it started to affect you physically. Can you tell me what are those physical things that started to happen that made you want to seek help?
Well, as far as the physical symptoms, it was just like panic attacks, like heart palpitations, crying for no reason. I just had like a major depressive. It was basically, in like general terms, you would just say it was a nervous breakdown. But me being like someone who's pretty like mild mannered, laid back, it was so different for me that I was aware that this wasn't who I am. You know what I mean? So those physical symptoms, like I was in a car one day and I felt like crying, and my kids were in the car, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? So I made, I'm just like, yo, let me pull over. Got out, and I didn't want them to see me crying. Not that it was something wrong with it, but I felt like I didn't know why. So that's when I was like, yo, am I turning into a schizophrenic person or something like that? But yeah, those physical symptoms are what triggered me, and I felt so helpless and so depleted. Which brings me to what you just said, is that I said, yo, I'm a victim. Like, because before that, you would never get me to say, like, I'm a victim. Nah, I'm strong, I'm gonna push through it. So, but at that point, I lost control. And control is an illusion. And when you so used to being able to fix things and get through it and feel like you have control, and you can't figure out why you're crying or why you're sad. Like, for me, I just felt like I was willing to try any and everything to get better.
Take his test scores, you can detect it. By the third grade, his future's projected. Call him stupid, neglected. What's the root of his stresses? Hunger pains, go to school with no breakfast. The struggle changed, the dynamic of learning. High chances of burning, trying to handle the burden. But what if he was suburban?
When you were younger and you went through that, after going through that situation, do you feel like your family noticed a change in you? Do you feel like they acknowledged that you were experiencing a trauma?
As a kid?
Yes.
No. Because it was just so, like, of course, mental health was so taboo. With me, that was just an isolated incident. But when you talk about, like, my mother being on drugs, my father was in prison at that time. So I didn't have that, I didn't have that male around. It was not acknowledged at all. Not one time.
I think that plays a major part in lack of acknowledging that you are a victim, especially as a child. There's nobody to notice the difference in your actions. There's nobody to notice that you might not eat one time, or, there's nobody to notice that. And I think that's a reason why a lot of our children are mentally ill.
Yeah, I agree.
I just wanted to say to my fellow Black Kings, there's many men that go through, and there's many men who don't say, and there also are many men that they don't visually look like they've been through anything, But if you need to speak on something and you see that it's affecting your life, the way you work, the goals you need to get to, your children, your girlfriend, your family, or just yourself, reach out to somebody. Therapy is good. So if you can, please give them your information where they can reach you. He is also a dope artist. So go listen to his music and check him out. Speak to each other, guys.
Ibn Sharif Shakur, maybe we could put that down here on the bottom. On Instagram, Ibn Sharif Shakur. YouTube is Ibn Sharif Shakur. Facebook is Ibn Sharif Shakur. Anything that any search engine you put my name in that way, it'll come up. Email too, at Gmail.
There you have it. You can reach him at Ibn Sharif Shakur. Just had to say that really slow because he speaks very fast. And that's about it. I hope you tune in because hopefully we'll be talking to the children at Team Walker.
There we go. We can get that popping. COVID died.
COVID day.